Do you know that song?
I've like obviously heard it, but God, I don't know the name or where.
Kurt and I were watching television, I think, and it came on. And he's like, oh my gosh, I really love that song. And I'm like, you do? He's like, I can never find out what it is. And so I showed him what Shazam is, which I'm assuming you know what
Yeah.
that is. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, people, it's an app that you can download on your phone or whatever. It probably is a website too, but you can press a button and whatever song's going on, whether it's over the grocery store speakers or whatever, you can figure out what song it is. So we found it and it's called A Summer Place. So to all who wanted to know, I thought it was a good PSA.
Yeah. Everyone needs to know about Shazam and Tin Fish, which it looks like you're representing today.
Okay, so also something new too is I started Newly. It's like a clothing rental
Oh, cool.
situation. And so you get like 6 pieces a month. I really fucked up here, dude. Like do you see how thick this sweater is? Like everything I got is so warm and it's been really, really warm outside. So I'm not really able to wear any of it. So here we are. I'm wearing it just literally for this.
Well, I love it. And I'm also sweating balls in this sweater right now, but I needed to wear it because it's why I'm mad today.
Give it to us. Show the sweatshirt too because it's super cute.
All right, guys. I will show and I will describe for those who cannot see me. Okay. So it's a crew neck and it says gnarly on it in honor of my lab that passed away last January or 2 Januaries ago now. Oh my gosh, it doesn't feel like that long ago. And it says established 2011 because that's when he was born. It's cute. It's good quality, but what I'm mad about is they've included an embroidered picture that I sent in of Gnarly, and they were trying to be all cool and shadow it a little bit, and they made it look like he has a spot around one of his eyes. And he was just like, he was a red lab. He had no spots around any of his eyes. Only one eye has this around it. So I'm just mad that like it was like almost perfect, right? Like it's a really cute sweater. And it
Yeah.
was so close to being perfect. And if it wasn't for the first love of my life, I wouldn't be as critical about it. But it's like a memorial thing for him. So I'm really bummed they didn't send me like some sort of proof to approve before they embroidered and just sent it to me, you
Can you
know?
send it back? Or have you given them feedback? I don't think it's like a bad thing.
I did give them feedback and they didn't respond. I didn't ask for them to change it. I just said like, hey, it's a really good quality like embroidery and I like the fabric, but I do wish you would have sent me a proof because I am bummed that it doesn't look as much like my dog because of a shadowing that made it look like a spot around the eye. Like I explained it all to them. And I was kind of hoping they'd respond and want to fix it, but I haven't heard back from them yet. It was a TikTok ad that I responded to, which was a girl that said she did it, but this did take like 3 weeks to get to me and came from China. So I'm sure she does the design and then sends it over there. So it took forever and it's not something I want to spend any more time on. So, but it was a bummer, but it is really cute in the same sense. So I'm going to try to be positive about it, but
Yeah, I love it. I think it looks great. It is slightly, I'm sure, annoying.
it was for bro who's still alive. I think I'd be more lenient on it, you know?
Yeah, and you're like, this is like special. This is like
I
I'm
literally
honoring
said,
the
this
dead
is for
here.
my deceased dog, so it was a bummer.
You said that
You
too.
know, me in my Midwest nice way. I was
You said
like,
that too.
yeah. I was just so nice about it. So they probably don't even know I'm complaining.
No, they have no idea. I'm assuming if it was you saying that. Because
Yeah.
you're way too nice about it.
This is a little off the path, but I had a leadership class last week where I took an assessment, and I take the assessment of my perception of myself, and all my coworkers take a perception survey of me too. And when I went to look at the results, I wanted to cry. I was like, they all fucking hate me. I'm a terrible person. And then I realized it was my perception of myself. And I flipped the page and they were way nicer than I was to myself. So,
Wow.
but why I mentioned this was I learned that it is possible to be too nice and I need to be a little more direct at work. So I'm working on being a bad bitch. Maddie, do you want
Yes.
to be my mentor?
Um, I think I think I have the opposite problem where things that I think just kind of come out and I could tend to like I think that everyone wants to be direct. Like I want people to be direct with me and I don't
Yeah.
realize that other people are
So
sensitive to it, if that makes sense.
maybe this is more of like a mentoring partnership
Yes.
where I help you soften and you help me harden.
Yeah.
Well, Maddie, what's up with you? Why are you mad?
I'm mad because a couple days ago, Kurt and I just started the show on Netflix called Love on the Spectrum. And I'm mad that I didn't start it sooner. It is so sweet. Like,
Yeah, that's a good show. And I will say, for whatever reason, it's better to watch it with someone. I tried watching it by myself when I was single last year, and it felt a little odd. But then now that I've watched it with someone else, it's like way more enjoyable. Does
well,
that
you
make
you
sense?
laugh. Yes, like I'm
Yeah,
like cracking up the whole time because they're just so damn cute.
they
Like,
are.
and you like are just, did you hear that? Did they just say that? Like, it's so funny
Mhm.
and it's just really fun to follow the characters. We're on season, I think we're like already starting season 3 now, but it's
Okay.
so fast. It's going really, really fast, but it's so sweet. It's so like heartwarming and they're just so pure. And I wish everyone on earth was like them. And it kind of goes perfectly with what we were just talking about, where it's so funny. They're so literal and they just speak whatever they want, whatever's coming into their brain on their dates, and they're
Hmm.
just so direct, but it's so pure. It's so sweet.
Yes. And they don't take offense to it because that's how they think too. So,
Hmm.
yeah, they're just like openly talking about whatever's on their mind to each other. And I love it. I just saw a meme or like a TikTok where it said how I expect my fiance to talk about me every time I use the restroom. Did you see that?
I saw the meme, but I haven't got to that part in the show. I
Yeah.
don't remember if it's Connor or if it's Tanner, but it seems like they met someone and they're like, "Where have you been all my life?"
He's like,
Like,
the whole time he's
I'll
walking
be
in the
right back.
bathroom, he's like, "Where have you been all my life? Where have you been all my life?" And then he says it in like Italian or something. It
That
was
is
so
so funny. So
cutie.
I'm so excited. If you don't know what Love on the Spectrum is, if you've been hiding under a rock like I have, it is a show that follows, gosh, probably 4 to 5 people each season, and they are on the autism spectrum, some on different levels of the spectrum than
Mhm.
others. And so they pair them up with others who are autistic and get them to go on dates, help them find love, and they coach them. And it's just so sweet. I love it.
Mhm. It's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, glad you hopped on that train. Finally,
Yeah.
something we can talk about.
I know. I know. But, anyways, Lexi, you came up with this really great idea for the podcast this week.
So we talked about doing this a while ago, but it just revisited my brain because I was babysitting my niece last week and she just had her first slumber party ever. And just to hear it through her as, um
A six
what
year
is
old?
she? She's 6 now. Yeah, I was just pausing. I just like froze on her age. As a 6-year-old, hearing her and Maddie, they pulled an all-nighter already. First sleepover ever. It's going to be hard to beat. But it was interesting because living in the generation that they do, they had electronics and all these things to keep them up all night. And I was like, gosh, they will just never know how fun a good old fashioned 90s, 2000s sleepover was.
So, on that note, today we're rolling out the sleeping bags, dimming the lights, and dialing it back to the most elite social event of your childhood, the 90s and 2000s sleepover.
Oh, yeah, you know what we're talking about. Thin sleeping bags on carpet, maybe an air mattress with a slow leak, and a snack spread that could and definitely should put you in a sugar overdose.
We're talking dance routines that deserved world tours, prank calls that probably traumatized a Pizza Hut employee, and the ancient dark arts of light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Plus, something kids will never appreciate, the cinematic masterpieces Blockbuster VHS tape,
Yes.
Disney Channel originals, and the universal truth that no night was complete without burning a bag of popcorn.
So grab your hair crimper and prepare for a deep dive into the chaotic, unhinged, and weirdly wholesome world of childhood sleepovers.
Yep, no parents, no bedtime, and no back support. Just good times.
Good
I'm
times.
so excited. But I want to kick this off. Hopefully, Maddie didn't read ahead like the notes. I want to kick this off with a brief. Have you ever 90s 2000s slumber party edition? So I'll
You're
ask you the first
surprising
one.
me.
Yeah,
You're
I'll ask
surprising
you the
me.
first one and you tell me if you have. If you have, you need to elaborate. Okay.
Okay.
So, have you ever had to leave a sleepover early?
I don't think so. No. I've never like called my parents to pick me up. I've always been like I've always stayed till the end. I'm a trooper. What about you?
I was gonna say, I remember one time you were sick as fuck at my house sleeping over and you stayed there. And my mom the next day just opened all the windows. It was dead winter and sprayed the room with disinfectant. But you stuck it out.
Well, I feel like that was a sleepover, but that wasn't like
That
sleepover
was
party.
later in life. It was like high school. So yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That was just sleeping and I happened to sleep at your house and I was sick AF. I remember
Yeah.
that perfectly, honestly.
But we honestly did all like the nostalgic things because I think we used your sick voice to prank call.
We did. We did.
Her voice was so hoarse and dry, so we had her call people and just pretend to be someone.
Yeah. It was
The good times.
like we used my sickness to the advantage of the prank call, which we'll get to
Yeah.
later, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll dive into prank calls. But no, I don't think I ever left early either. I remember feeling like homesickness a few times, but I was always too scared to actually like pull
Yeah.
out.
I remember feeling so uncomfortable sometimes sleeping at people's houses that you didn't know very well. And there were always girls that would like get homesick and have to go home early, I feel like. At those like big birthday parties where there was like
Mhm.
10 girls, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever pretended to be asleep during a sleepover?
Yeah. And
I'm
it's
pretty sure I have too. Are we just attention whores or
yeah, like you like pretend to do funny stuff while you're sleeping to make people laugh. Like, so and so farted. You know, like what I mean? Pretending to talk in your sleep or pretended to sleep so you could hear the gossip.
mm-hmm. Which is so embarrassing to say, but you know,
Mhm.
we love little Maddie, we love little Lexi. They were just
This is a
immature.
safe space. What do they say? We listen, we don't judge.
Repeat.
Repeat. How many times will we repeat that this episode?
Oh
Okay.
God.
Have you ever like really got someone like got them good with a ghost story?
I feel like growing up, I was the one who loved reading ghost stories. Do you remember that book that was like scary stories to tell in the dark? We would definitely probably bring something like that out at a sleepover and read them. So I would say yes, I probably scared the shit out of people because I was so into it. What about you?
I never did. I remember my dad was always really good at ghost stories and he would always tell me and my friends ghost stories. Um a little funny story. One time my brother had a field trip and they needed a chaperone last minute and they were staying overnight in cabins. So they needed a boys chaperone.
Oh,
So
was
my
this like a
mom,
camp?
yeah, my mom like made him do it. And it was his job to make sure they didn't sneak out and stuff. He ended up telling them a ghost story and they like wouldn't leave the cabin. They were all scared. I think a kid went home scared early. I just heard this
Pete,
story for the first time when I was in Arizona, but he was the
Pete.
master. Okay. Have you ever had a friend kicked out of a group mid sleepover? Like a kicked out of the sleepover, like kicked out of the friend group, excluded during a sleepover?
No, but this has happened on a trip in the Virgin Islands. We'll have to tell that story another time, but that was
Wow.
that's the first thing that came to mind. So no, not a sleepover, but a trip.
Oh,
What about you?
I've had one where, it was always when there's like groups of three, I feel like someone gets left out and it's sad, whatever.
What's a good
Yeah,
number? What's a good sleepover number?
I feel like it's got to be two or four. Too many people, it just gets too many people that can be left out,
Yeah.
Two or four. That's it. Leave it there.
I- Have you ever stayed up all night and immediately regretted it the next morning?
Um,
Like now or then? Because both.
yeah. Now it's like I feel hungover if I don't sleep enough.
Yes.
But I can't remember the last time I actually pulled an all night. Actually, I did a few times last summer.
Safe space.
So I immediately regretted it then. No, I think I'd never regret it. It's a badge of honor to pull an all-nighter as a kid, I think.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I have had to, but I don't remember a particular time when I did. So did I do it? I don't know. Did we pull? I don't even know if I have.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we're gonna have to do that so you can die knowing that you've pulled an all-nighter.
But you know me. You know that I would. I have it in me. I'm a night owl.
You totally got it in ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bad girl.
That bad naughty girl. Well, that was a fun little way to highlight some of the good times, but let's set the stage. Sleeping arrangements. Where were we sleeping? With what? What do you remember? What are your core memories with sleeping arrangements at sleepovers?
How my memory serves me is there were a lot of sleepovers in basements. If you had a basement, it was probably in the basement. I didn't even own a sleeping bag growing up. Did you?
No, I don't remember really bringing a sleeping bag back and forth unless it was for a big slumber party, like a birthday party, not when I'm casually going over to stay at my neighbor friend's house, but I was right on line with you. If it was one person, it was in my room. If it was more than one person, it was usually in the basement. And I remember sometimes we'd make forts to sleep in. Did you ever sleep in a fort?
No.
No, we
I
would
don't
use
think
my
so.
pool table as the base. Yeah, so we'd build around the circumference of it. And then I remember when I've had some bigger sleepovers for birthday parties and stuff, my mom would always just throw mattresses all over the floor in the basement, just a bunch of mattresses for kids to sleep on. And so when I was thinking through that, I really had to ask myself, why did we have so many spare mattresses?
It's a great question.
They were just always stacked in the back storage room of my basement. And I started thinking about it. I was I don't think that's normal. Did you guys out there, I'm talking to you, did you guys have spare mattresses laying around your house that you just couldn't get rid of? Let's roll on to the best part.
The food and drinks. Yes. Okay, so if you were able to have a slumber party, what would you choose for the food and beverage?
So I feel I want to say for food, I would have picked pizza rolls, bagel bites, those type of things. I feel my parents always took it as an opportunity to order in pizza though. And same. I need to do my usual plug. Oh, fuck Pizza Hut. That was always the worst when I'd stay at a friend's house and their mom would forget that it made me sick and order Pizza Hut.
When their mom would forget that it made me sick.
Shout out to Maggie's mom. She forgot every time. She still apologizes.
Pizza Hut in the 90s was good. That was a different Pizza Hut.
It still made me sick.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a matter of if I liked the taste. It I would get a headache and puke every time. I don't know.
I wonder what it was. That's crazy. I can literally taste the difference of the caramely pan pizza from the pizza in the 90s at Pizza Hut And then
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't had it since, but
Remember they always did the little personal pan ones for like the band events and stuff to like eat lunch quick.
yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was such a treat.
But I remember thinking they were so cute because they were
Hmm.
deep dish still.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Or if you like
Hmm.
read a million books, like 100 books, or
Yeah.
I don't remember the number, but there was like a book contest that if you read books, they would give you a pizza, a personal pizza.
Yeah. They were a reward for most kids.
Yeah, shit was popping. Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as the main course, what would you pick?
Same pizza all day. Whether or not we would order it in, we would usually order from like a local place. Ours was Happy Joe's. Sometimes like a Domino's situation, but we were pretty loyal to Happy Joe's. And then what else? I'm trying to think. A main course, or we would do like Jack's pizzas if we were
Hmm.
open to just like making them ourselves. We would go to
Yeah.
the grocery store, go to our local Hy-Vee, pick out a bunch of snacks, and my dad would kind of like let us like go off, like
Yeah.
pick up a bunch of shit we could not normally buy. So it was
I'm
exciting.
thinking the Mary Kate and Ashley fan of me has to bring up their slumber party episode where they sing the pizza song when they order the pizza, and it's like, I want pizza, Pizza.
I
Do you
don't remember
remember
that
that?
part. No,
Dude,
I
that
only know it from you
song
singing it all the time.
lived. Yeah, because I would sing it every time we ate pizza. It's still like in my head all the time.
Yes. That's
I
awesome.
love
Oh my
it.
gosh, we
Okay.
would need to watch that. Everybody go watch
We
that.
should. We should. I have my mom got us a jailbroken Fire Stick, and it has like a bunch of Mary Kate and Ashley stuff on it. So I'm excited to dive deep in
I've
that
heard
shit.
you can't even like you can't download or rent or find these movies anywhere lately.
I guess I should check the TV show, but the movies came up. I didn't, but I would rather watch their old TV show episodes. So I'll look into that and let you know. And we'll have a night. I'll bring the Fire Stick to you if I come to you next. Like, we're doing it.
Bring the contraband. We need it to watch Mary MKNA.
Yeah, geez. Okay, but the snacks. The snacks were actually the highlight. Like, I'll have a slice of pizza, but I snacked on this shit all night. For me, and Maggie, I feel like we had the most sleepovers. Cheese balls,
Cheese balls.
the little like crunchy
Oh,
like Cheeto like cheese balls,
of course.
dill pickle potato chips.
What?
They were our, it was our thing. And then also some sort of either Cosmic Brownie, Little Debbie, Twinkie, or Star Crunch. Any of those. Maybe a Nutter Butter, but you had to have one of those like fake baked goods.
Oh my gosh, aren't they terrible? I've tried one lately. I loved them back then, but I
Mhm.
tried a Star Crunch not too long ago, probably within the last couple of years. They're gross. Did they, did
Eat
they
like three in
change?
one sitting.
Did they change or are our tastes different?
I think we changed, Maddie.
Is it us
They-
or them?
I don't think they could change if they tried. I remember I left, and I don't know why my mom let it happen. I left a Cosmic Brownie out, like a half of one that I didn't eat. I left it out for a whole year, and it didn't
Like
mold.
where?
Nothing changed. It just became rock hard.
Where was it?
I had it on my speaker stand.
Stop for a
And at a
year.
certain point, like I got so many months in without my mom noticing that I think finally I was like, hey, I'm doing an experiment. Don't touch that.
Okay, and you called me weird for the potato smiley thing. This is like
I
very
wasn't
similar.
mutilating it and abusing it.
No, we
I was letting it sit.
wanted to see how long they'd last.
You guys didn't watch the school lunch episode. Maddie used to take home the smiley face tater tots and like literally mutilate it, cut them open.
You're
She
making
fed the
up
fruit rat.
mutilating. We just did experiments, such as
What?
seeing how long they lasted. Anyways,
You
I
said you
digress.
cut 'em open. Okay. Anyways, so what about you? Snacks.
Okay, I really, really struggled with this because I feel like we would have something different every time. We were big on like fruit roll-ups and gushers. We also loved like, do you remember those 3D Doritos? Those were super fun.
Yes.
We liked those. And then we also are big on like Ruffles with AE French onion dip.
Okay.
So nothing like kiddish or fun. We also pixie sticks, like to stay up all night. That was a must to have something like really sugary.
Yes. Yes. No, those are all good.
And then speaking of sugar, for like soda pop or drink, Surge was it. We never ever got it unless it was like a banger, a sleepover banger.
Surge was like the drink to have. Otherwise, the Kool-Aid things. We've talked about them in past episodes.
Were they jammers?
Yeah, like Kool-Aid jammers. You're right. Or like a Capri Sun of some sort.
Yeah. Gosh, they're terrible.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't like puke. Like, look at this assortment we just put together.
Sugar, processed formaldehyde.
Kids today could never. We had to build up a tolerance to that.
Oh, yeah. But it was all new at the time.
Yeah.
So fun.
So good.
Let's move on to the activities. There are classic games that everybody at some point has probably played. What ones do you remember the most?
My bread and butter, we always played like the spooky, like freaky games at sleepovers. So like light as a feather, stiff as a board was one.
I played that like a couple times, but people say it works, but it never worked for me.
Yeah, because you have to have an imagination. I'm just kidding. I know. I never felt it either, but I had people be like, guys, seriously. I felt like I was it was always the people with their eyes closed that thought they got lifted. I don't know if anyone's ever like physically saw someone lift with these fingers.
Okay. I thought that people actually got lifted up.
I think the person with their eyes closed more so feels like it because they're supposed to like be relaxed and then feel like they lift off the ground.
Coming up underneath. Yeah. You guys, we need feedback. Has anybody successfully lifted somebody up with their fingers and
how many people
as a feather, stiff as a board?
Yeah,
we need to know.
Let us know. But going along with the spooky theme, the Bloody Mary game where you'd say it 3 times in the bathroom mirror.
Lexi, did you do that?
Oh yeah.
I could never, even right now at fucking 34 years old.
Really?
I will not do that.
Okay, I have a confession to make. Sometimes if I stare at myself like in the eyes too long in the mirror, I get really, sometimes I'll just be like close to the mirror and like trying to get something, you know, and then I'll like hone in on my eyes and then I'll be like, wow, are you really me or who are you?
Oh my gosh, you're freaking me out, man.
I know. Okay, I'll get off this because this could be really deep. And the last one was Ouija board in my like spooky sleepover classics category.
Oh yeah,
Ouija boards. I really fucked with Ouija boards. People
I got one at a garage sale.
I had one. Yeah,
got one at a garage sale. I am super terrified of that stuff now, though. I don't know we don't need to be summoning spirits at age 8. Okay, like leave it alone.
I feel like there's way more like, I don't want to say proof, but there's way more speculations about like that spiritual kind of stuff. So it is way more freaky now than back then. It was like fun to believe in it, but no one actually really like did.
But that's an actual tool to communicate with this.
No, me and my friend Kenzie, we brought a Ouija board on a volleyball trip with us. So we were at this creepy ass hotel doing Ouija board by ourselves in a room. We connected with this ghost named Din, D-I-N, you hollow. And we talked to him.
Stop.
We talked to him for years. We talked to him for years. And we would literally be like, we would be at the fair on like the twirly cups ride and we'd be like, Din, spin us harder. And I kid you not, like we'd fly backwards and like, so it was all really creepy. It all felt like it aligned, whatever. Well,
sounds like a bunch of random letters next to each other, but
yeah.
Din you hollow.
She just called me. She called me a couple weeks ago to tell me she's pregnant. So that's really exciting. But then I told her, I was like, if it's a boy, you have to name it Din You Hollow. And she like busted out laughing. And it stuck with us our whole life, this Ouija board experience. So it really brings people together, you know?
When I was thinking Ouija board, I wasn't thinking of the positive sides of bringing those people together that you love. I was thinking more of the summoning evil spirits of the dead.
Yeah, well, there's give and take, there's good and bad. So that was those were my spooky games. What about you for games?
You just listed all my games.
Did I seriously? You didn't have Truth or Dare?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Truth or Dare
I'm
was
confused.
the best game. What is the craziest dare you've ever done?
Oh, God, I'm such a little bitch. None. I probably came up with really good ones, though.
Yeah, mine was probably like, I didn't have one that stood out, but I mean, like, I got dared to kiss a boy when I was probably too young to do it, and I was always afraid to say no, like.
No, I would never. I'm a prude, remember?
Yeah.
Remember, I am and have always been a prude.
I think the first boy I ever kissed is now gay anyway, so I think that we can call my first kiss a wash.
We've all been there. It's fine. It's a compliment, honestly.
It really is. It really was.
Mm-hmm. It's a badge of honor.
What about MASH?
Did we play that? That was like a school game. I wouldn't say like played it at sleepovers, but we definitely played some
sleepovers.
Did you?
What was it? Mansion, apartment,
shack,
or house?
Yeah.
We would play it forever, and we keep doing it till I got the man I wanted with the house I wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, oh, well, like this isn't real. It's like getting a tarot reading and saying like, no, let's scroll on TikTok and get the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't resonate with it. I don't claim this.
And that's up to me to decide.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But as far as like activities, we did a ton of makeovers. We would get out. Everybody would bring their makeup. We would do tons of makeovers, hair. It was so fun.
Glitter.
That's like what my main thing was, which is funny because I wouldn't consider myself like a big makeup hair person, but oh man, we went to town.
Oh my gosh. I used to spend the entire night braiding someone's whole head of hair. Like little braids.
Oh my God.
And then I'd see her wear them to school the whole next week, and I'd just be beaming with pride.
And you know they probably weren't that good.
Whatever. God. But yeah, and the butterfly clips, putting those in, the body glitter we've talked about before, caboodles. Yeah, that's a good.
All that stuff. And like going through products. It was so fun. Nails. I mean, we painted nails.
Yeah. I even remember letting my friend's brother do my hair once at a sleepover. And no, he's not my first kiss. But it was in preparation for a dance battle we were having. So it all tied together because making up choreography dances, that everyone did that, right?
Yes, which is so funny. Like, how is that? Do they still do it now, but I think it's more of the TikTok inspo that gets them to do it, where ours was seeing Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera videos.
Oh, ours was lip syncing. We would judge each other, and if we weren't judging each other, we'd make like a sibling sit there and watch us do a synchronized dance together. Like,
yes, we would do karaoke too, and like we would have judges, and we took it so seriously. Like it was not a joke, and like you wore that karaoke win as a badge of honor.
Yes, yeah.
Did you have any particular songs that you
say? Not really song. I mean, Hit Me Baby One More Time, obviously, was one that I did, but I was more like whatever was on now, that's what I call music. The like most recent CD, we would just kind of click through those. But it was usually like Britney Spears, Destiny's Child. Maddie, I know you probably did Spice Girls, right?
I think I was a little bit young then. We did, again, Britney Spears, the Britney album. We had the really killer dance to Overprotected. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
And I'm a Slave for You era. So good. Lady Marmalade, we had to dance to. And we sang one sleepover in particular, I remember, What a Girl Wants was on loop constantly. So those are like my main songs that like pop up in my head when I think
Yeah.
of that.
That's awesome. And like, it's funny that you mentioned TikTok because I don't know if this is just because I was always into it or if it was common, but we used to film ourselves too on little VHS tapes and then watch it back. So every slumber party I had my recorder ready to go.
Yeah, that was unique to you. Like, not everybody just had that at their fingertips, and it's so cool that you did. Because even have some videos that we can go
Yeah,
back
we have
to.
some videos in high school, but Maggie and I we'd like there wasn't much technology and we're young, so we would literally, I think about it now, we would edit as we filmed. We'd pause the camera and the music at the same exact time, switch spots so we could like press record and play at the same exact time, and we would make whole out music videos just like with the camera. And we watch them still to this day. They're like some of the best memories.
Yeah, I mean, and CDs were like pretty new at this time, even. So, like, some things were tapes. We actually would like record our karaoke battles on tape because
Yes.
I had a karaoke machine. And so
Mm-hmm.
we would play the song in the background and we would like keep it on tapes, which is crazy.
Maddie, I literally had written down that we would burn CDs with karaoke versions of songs on it and then record us singing them on tapes. Yeah.
It's the only way to go.
That's so funny because I didn't know everyone did it. And isn't it funny that we thought we were the only ones?
Yes. And really, there was like this collective situation going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like kids these days, like, they won't get to experience the anonymity of that because they're at sleepovers, they all have phones,
Mm-hmm.
and all the other kids who have Snapchat, who have whatever, they're all seeing that they're all there. So
Right.
you're probably getting blasted out into your universe of school
Right.
friends or whatever.
We had to be resourceful, and there's something to that. But
Mm-hmm.
also, with that, they will never understand how fun it was to go to Blockbuster on a Friday night.
Stop. Say
Yes,
less.
dude, that was the best. Being like, oh, this movie comes out on rental, we got to go to Blockbuster and get it. And just
Yeah.
even thinking of how they used to have the branded one and then all the rentals behind it, and you would
Mm-hmm.
like race to it to see if there were still rentals behind it, because if there wasn't, then they were out, and that was a huge bummer.
Yes. And all the new releases were all along the outside walls. And then we would usually get like a new release because I think they were a little more expensive. And then we would grab like two ones that weren't new. But it was so fun. And it was like, what's the vibe of tonight? And you would carefully select your movies for the
Mm-hmm.
evening. And oh, it was so good.
Stresses me out at like now that I'm older. I wonder how many like late fees my parents had to pay for not getting them
Probably
back in
knowing
time.
you a bit. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But gosh, I bring it back. There's something to like being limited to what was there too.
Yes, because that's what you were watching that night. Whether it was good,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was bad, whether it sucked in the first 20 minutes, you were committing, you were going to watch it. Do you have any movies that you remember particularly from back in the day that you would watch during this time period?
I was really naughty because I had older siblings and I would pass that along to my friends. But Maggie and I would watch Austin Powers Goldmember over and over and over again. The Scary Movie series, Scary Movies.
Yes, that's a good
The
sleepover one.
parodies. Yeah, so inappropriate for us, but we watch it over and over. Bring It On was another, like, I actually watched that recently and I still know every word by heart.
When I think of this, I think of Crossroads with Britney Spears. There must have been like a summer where I had a lot of sleepovers. Josie and the Pussycats, me and my friend Amanda were obsessed with. I can say every single line of that movie. What about scary movies? Did you have any
Ooh.
scary ones?
The Ring, I remember watching that entirely too young. I still love that movie. I'll never forget watching that movie for the first time.
Oh, there's nothing scarier than The Ring.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Jeepers Creepers, that one scared the hell out of me. And the one that I really wanted to bring up is the Mothman prophecies. I don't know if anybody else had a weird obsession with this movie like I did. This is like one of those things that I told my neighbors about the scary story because I would check out all these really weird books at my school library about supernatural, witches, ghosts. One book was about Mothman. And it's this man that has moth wings that flies.
But does a man turn into a moth?
It is a creature that exists in West Virginia, apparently. And so it's like based off of that. But this is real.
Interesting.
There is a creature called Mothman.
Oh my God.
Like that people have seen.
The fuck?
If anybody else is obsessed with Mothman as I am, please let
us
know.
Let us know. We say let us know so many times every episode, but please, I need to know if this is tin fish theory.
What?
I need to know if this is like a tin fish thing. Like,
okay, tin fish is good.
I don't doubt it, but I don't know anyone else that watches reviews as much as you do. Okay, this is the fun part for me. Let's talk about the pranks.
There's a couple of them. Let's start with the prank calls. Okay, I want to lead with the fact that our middle school, for some reason, gave out a school directory with every single person who went to our school's number in it.
Well, and back then, that was normal. That's how you got in touch with people. Nowadays, I'm like, don't fucking call me ever.
Well, what did you think was going to happen when you gave every student's number?
Oh, yeah. And then sometimes we wouldn't even like, and you didn't know who had caller ID and who didn't back then too. And sometimes we would just close our eyes and pick a random name. And then I remember
there's a solution though. Yeah. There's a solution to the caller ID.
Oh, star 67.
Yeah. Star 67. It would cover up who you were. Or if who you called clicked star 69, they were unable to see your number.
Oh, because that's why when I said star 60, I was like, why does 9 keep sticking out, but 7 is what I know it is? Star 69.
For those who don't know, if you're young, before caller ID was a really big thing, you could click star 69 and it would repeat back the number that just called you. Or you could click star 67 before you dialed your number, and then it would cover up your number from anybody trying to see it.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Yeah, because caller ID was so hit and miss back then, and God forbid someone knew who you were when you were asking if their refrigerator was running. Prank calling was fun, but I hung out with neighbor kids a lot growing up, and we would ding dong ditch.
That's fun.
And that was fucking fun. Yeah.
Oh my God, Lexi, we were really bad. Actually, we would go egging sometimes too. Sorry, everybody.
I don't want to talk about that.
We
That's
did.
terrible.
Yeah.
But they say they're like, back in our day, with the prices that they are now, back in our day, we used to throw eggs and toilet paper at houses.
We did. We were part of that.
Was our
no big damage or anything, but now I'm like, that is awful. Like I would never.
Yeah, no, that was terrible for us. But no, ding dong ditching. There were some fun moments with that. It didn't matter if you knew them or you didn't, and you just the exhilaration of fucking running and trying to hide. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
And it's pretty low stakes, harmless, right? So it's like no harm, no foul. I mean, it depends what hour of the night.
Kids these days will never understand ding dong ditch because Ring cameras, man. Party pooper.
Yes. Oh
everybody has that.
I didn't even think about how that's not possible. I mean, I'm sure there's ways around it, but
they're getting busted even if they're not home. So lame.
And location. I answered the door and I check the location of all my best friends and I'm like, they're here.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine. Oh, you poor things.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
They all have caller ID. They all have Ring cameras.
Right.
Lockdown.
Did you ever color on someone when they fell asleep?
Yes, absolutely. I don't even care. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been drawn on because I refused to be the first person to fall asleep. And if I did fall asleep, I'd lie about it. They'd be like, look, she's sleeping. I'll be like, no, I'm not. I'm
So
gonna
you'd
wake the whole
lie.
time. I heard everything you said.
So you'd lie if you were sleeping. You'd lie if you were awake.
I guess you could say I was a liar.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing. Or like makeup or something. One prank that I remember doing a lot to people, and the rubber band around the sink sprayer was a really fun one. And we'd be like, first one to wash their hands wins or something, or you'd get someone to go over to the sink for some reason. And that was like my classic move.
Gotcha. Oh, it's so harmless too. That is such a juvenile Maddie move.
It's about as funny as a flower that sprays water out of your shirt.
Okay, so back in the day, there was a myth that if you put someone's hand in warm water, they would piss themselves. Did you ever accomplish that? I know you had to try it. Every sleepover tried it. Did anyone ever actually piss themselves though? Or can we debunk this?
I can't deny or confirm.
I've tried and no one ever peed themselves, so I think it's bullshit.
I feel like you would have gotten the job done.
I think I would have too.
Who started that? Let's just start something like that.
Okay, and now I gotta know because I'm finding out that so much shit, or like we invented it in Dubuque and never knew. Is this a well-known myth, or did we make this up? I'm questioning everything now.
Oh my gosh, because of like the turkey sandwiches? What's it called? Turkey and dressing
sandwich. Yeah, I'm finding out that like I thought it was a Midwest thing. Then I was like, oh, it's an Iowa thing. No, it's a Dubuque, Iowa thing. Is immerging your hand in warm water and pissing yourself a Dubuque, Iowa myth?
Or is it simply worldwide?
Or does everyone think it happens?
Oh my gosh. I have no idea, but I wonder what the kids of today are doing in sleepovers that are different. We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
There has to be. I bet they're recording TikToks. I bet they're all sitting on their fucking phones, to be honest.
They're playing video games for sure, which we did do. We had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Sega. We had some video games, and we would play them.
No, I didn't. I never played video games, really.
Maggie and I did a little bit. It wouldn't take up our whole night, though.
Well, I only have owned one video game in my life.
What is it?
Jeopardy.
Oh my God. I was like, Sims? Like, I gave you way more credit than you deserve.
Well, that was close. That's good. Yeah, I was a...
How was that close?
Well, it's not like a gamer game, like anything to do with like gaming, like I'm out.
Oh my God. One of the funniest TikToks I've ever seen, not because of the TikTok itself, but because of the comments, was, I'm bored. What is the most like ruthless and messed up thing you've ever done to your Sims? And I scrolled through it and it's like, the comments were insane. I forget. Someone said that they would like bring over girls to this guy's house and like they would have a baby and then they get rid of the mom. And so this guy had all these babies and had to take care of them by himself. And they had like a whole name for it.
Oh my gosh.
And just like, it was okay. Anyways,
from The Sims, what I remember is Rosebud, semicolon, something.
Semicolon, semicolon. Yeah, that was the cheat to get money.
Like the back, I remember that.
And I was such a little pervert that I was always on the hunt. Like, I thought there was a way to remove the blur when they were like naked. And I was like, I want to do this.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, don't
like what's this? You're like typing
and we don't judge.
You're typing into Google. How do you look at what's the cheat
there
code?
Wasn't
look
Google
like Sims
back
naked.
then. I don't even think Googling was like.
Yes, there was. Ask Jeeves.
It wasn't.
You were Ask Jeeves.
Okay, but it probably took like 20 minutes for it to load. Like, it wasn't easy to ask things like that back then.
Yes.
Because my friend, I was lucky. I had a friend that had all the newest, coolest things all the time. So she had like the very first Sims game ever, like right when it dropped.
And then like the packs, the expansion packs or
yeah,
whatever.
yes.
Oh gosh. And you would have like cooler outfits. Anyways, wow. The Sims. The first version of like AI.
I need to
People love to
download
be
the
in control of another
most
life
current
form.
one. I tried downloading it on my boyfriend's game system, and it's too complicated now. I couldn't even figure out how to like start it.
It's simply too complicated.
It's way too complicated.
So on top of sleepovers completely changing based on probably technology and what kids like to do, a lot of parents aren't allowing kids to have sleepovers anymore. And I can see why in some ways, but in some ways too, I'm like, gosh, it really shaped my friendships and stuff and like my creativity and independence in a lot of ways too.
What are their reasons for not?
Well, I mean, you're letting your kids stay at people's homes that maybe you don't know well. You know, there's a chance to get like abused.
Humanity.
Yeah, I mean, essentially.
Which I get totally. Like, I feel like my mom was like that even back then when I got to high school. Remember, she was very strict.
Yeah.
There were very few people. She wanted to meet their parents. Otherwise, anyone could come stay at my house. But I couldn't go stay other places. So I get it. And I guess, okay, I understand. But still, you got to have at least a few core friends that can spend the night.
Yes, that you trust. And like, again, give you an opportunity to have to stick out at night sleeping at someone's house, even if you're like, oh no, I'm uncomfortable on the floor. You're going to be in those situations in life. And like,
what are you going to do when you go away to college?
Yes. Again, you're self-soothing. You're navigating situations on your own. I think there's so many things to gain from it, but at the same time too, I do understand that piece.
You really got to trust. You really got to trust who's watching your kid. That's all, folks.
Well, that's all she wrote. Now everyone go home. I mean, maybe you're home. Go home, watch the Mothman prophecies. Let me know what you think.
Or watch Mary-Kate and Ashley if you can get your fingers on it.
Or go on a little road trip with Brittany and the gang.
Yeah. Watch your movie, get your snackies, and hopefully this gave you some ideas on how to relive the best days of our lives that we'll never get back. Ever, ever, ever. But for real, how lucky are we to have lived in those days? I love being a millennial now more than ever. I truly embrace it.
We are the last generation to remember a time when there was no internet.
Mm-hmm. We're the best.
We are. I would have it no other way. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Fuck you, Gen Z. I'm just kidding.
We love Gen Z, but they're finally realizing what baddies we are. Yeah. How resourceful we are. I could just go on and on. I'll just stop now.
Yeah. Thanks for finally noticing us in a way that we want to be appreciated. Okay.
We were the last present generation.
I love it. Put it on my fucking tombstone.
Please. That time spent within that dash.
Yeah.
In between the years, we're well spent.
That dash. We were present.
Wow. All right. A little weird.
We're done. My Celsius is kicking in. I gotta go on my walk. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Follow for new episodes every Friday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wait You're Mad. And if you like something, repost, it helps us. I hate asking, but thank you.
If you like us, act like it, please.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.